welcome back to the vlog. Today is the 9th of October and we are going to continue with the autumn cleanup today. I am going to be redesigning the allotment plot and I want to start that next week, so I need to make the process of building... Hello? That was so loud. Yeah, so I need to clear a couple more beds so that next week I can start putting the new beds together and reshaping the ones that are already here. So I'm definitely gonna sort this bed out today, remove the courgettes, but look at these dahlias. What? Look how many flowers on this one plant. They're so pretty. We had a storm over the weekend, so unfortunately we did have some casualties, mainly the dahlias. This one's still going. I think it's just about still attached. But yeah, a couple did snap off, which is a little bit of a shame. But those, wow, so bright. So I've got about an hour to do as much clearing as possible. But before then, I will show you what I got up to over the weekend. On Saturday, I went pumpkin picking. I have never been to a pumpkin patch before and I didn't know what to expect, but this certainly wasn't what I was expecting. It was a huge farm. They also had a dahlia flower picking patch still open, which was free to go in, so of course I went in there as well. But look at this pumpkin field. Rows and rows of pumpkins. So they were all kind of set out in type of pumpkin. So this first patch was the pumpkins for carving, your standard big yellow orange types, and then they had one for weird pumpkins, and I noticed the little, like the baby boo kind of pumpkins, the white ones, funny little gourds, and then there was a giant pumpkin patch and this one was so cool. I loved seeing all the different varieties of pumpkin. Apparently they have over 25 different varieties and I didn't count but there was a lot of different pumpkins there. These ones were so cool. They were big giant white ones and I'd never seen ones like that before, and then there was these beautiful orange ones that looked like curry squash but bigger. This was the type of pumpkin that I chose to pick. Not sure what it was, but I think it looks like a pink crown prince. I picked it from the pumpkin aisle patch row where they were grown for eating. So of course I picked a edible one because I would like to cook it in the next couple of weeks since I didn't get any pumpkins of my own this year. Quite that big anyway. I then went over to the dahlia patch and had a look around, and there were so many beautiful dahlias in here. I wish they weren't labelled with the names and varieties because I would love to grow some of these next year, especially like the pink and yellow kind. They looked like strawberries and cream. They were really lovely colours in there. Yeah, there were so many different types of dahlias, rows and rows and rows of dahlias. I think it was about £6 to get in just to go and walk around this flower patch, but because it is October now, it's free to go into that area, but you do have to pay if you want to pick any of the stems, and I think it was £1 per stem, so you could spend a lot of money on these dahlias. There was also like this thistle patch and it was absolutely full of goldfinch, so I think they were going around and eating all the seeds or something. It was so cute. I love goldfinch. They're so pretty. Anyway, that was the dahlia patch and the big pumpkin patch at Forage Farm just outside of Cowbridge if you wanted to visit yourself. I have what I think is my last harvest of chilies. I've washed them and dried them and don't they look so pretty? I love chilies. They're just So cute. This one is my favourite. It's the cha-cha, and it was a tiny little plant, and it just produced little chilies that all stuck upright. I haven't actually tried one, and I'm a little, I don't know, apparently they're medium spice, but what I'm thinking about doing with all of these is actually drying most of them. I've got a big bag of chilies in the freezer which I need to defrost and start drying. I tried drying some the other day because I've got a dehydrator now, so that's fun. So I'm going to dry most of them, and the jalapenos I'm going to pickle. I don't have many. I prefer jalapenos when they're red, but I've got a couple of green ones as well, but I do enjoy pickling them. I think that's the best thing to do with them. I also have some sugar rush stripey, which are actually not that stripy. I just never know when to pick these because grew sugar rush peach, never knew when it was ripe, always picked it too early when it just tasted like a pepper, not much spice to them. So this year I grew sugar rush stripey, so I'd have more of an indication if they were ripe, but I still don't really know because this one I left on for far too long. It basically just shriveled on the plant. That is an amazing colour, but yeah, I don't know. I've also got two types of cayenne. So I've got regular red cayenne, and this year I also grew the golden cayenne. They're actually quite a bit bigger than the regular cayennes, but I haven't tasted it on its own, but I am going to make everything into chili flakes. And hopefully having a range of different peppers in the chili flake pot will give it some different flavours. I've also got serranos, and I love serranos, but last year or the year before I decided to pickle serranos like I pickle jalapenos, and these I could barely eat them. They were just so hot, which is funny because I think this is a medium pepper as well, so maybe I'm not that good at tolerating spice, but I did dry some as well and then just mix it in with like the cayenne to make pepper flakes, chili flakes. So I think I'm just going to dry these this year. So and those are the peppers that I have to deal with today. So we're going to dry most of them and pickle the jalapenos, and I'm really, really tempted to try one of these. The little tiny cha-chas. Shall I do it? They're very, very, very mild. That just tastes like a pepper. Maybe if the seeds. That didn't have any spice at all. That was just like eating a pepper. Shall I try another one? Do you think that was just an odd one? This one is definitely more orange, though. That is so weird. It's just like eating a tiny little pepper. Okay, weird. So I put these cayennes in the dehydrator just to see like what temperature I'd need to put them on, and these are almost dry. I also gave it a go with the serranos. So the serranos are much like thicker skinned, so these are going to take a bit longer to, oh gosh, dehydrate. And these are paprikas. I've got a bowl of paprikas in the sink which I need to wash, but some of them are quite dodgy, so I don't know whether I'll make paprika powder this year. I do actually have, I still have my own paprika powder left from last year. It hasn't gone off. It smells so strong. Wow. I'll deal with the paprikas tomorrow or something, but yeah, I'm gonna get all my new chilies cut up and in the dehydrator. I do leave the seeds in. Some people say that you should remove the seeds, but the seeds give extra heat and I want extra heat, so I'm gonna leave the seeds in, but I'm just gonna cut the tops off and slice them lengthways. So let's go. I'm gonna wear a glove because I do not want to touch my eye after cutting up a bunch of chilies. All I'm doing is cutting the tops off and cutting them in half. I'm removing the pith bit inside because that can be a little bit bitter. Then I'm just laying them on the dehydrator shelves. Next year I'm planning to grow chilies similar to the cayenne because they just dry so well. So if you have any recommendation of chilies similar to cayenne that have that like thinner skin, easier, quicker to dry, I would love to try and grow them next year. And obviously I'm going to grow jalapenos because they are just my favourite. I use them the most and pickling them is the best. I'm not going to be pickling those in this video because I don't have any sugar in the house, and to make the brine I need sugar. So I will do that for next week's video. Just insert a clip of how I do it. But yeah, those little cha-cha chilies, I really thought they would be super spicy, and they were not. There was no spice to them whatsoever. So I'm not sure why that is, but I don't think I'll grow those again next year just because there was no spice to them at all. So weird. So I put it on for 3 hours and then I'm going to check it. It's on 50 degrees at the moment. I don't know how hot it goes up to. Okay, it goes up to 70. Maybe I'll put it on 45. Yeah. And then we'll check it and see how things are going. And I think the bottom layer will be done by then, so I can remove that and then get some of the paprikas in instead. But yeah, look how pretty. Look at those colours. Nice. Okay, we have 2 little jars of chilies. These are the cayennes, and I tried some of this last night and it was pretty spicy, pretty good. This is a mix of all the other chilies, the yellow cayenne, those mini little cha-chas, and serranos. I think this will be more flavourful rather than spicy because it's got a real mix of different chilies. And then in the dehydrator, I have the paprikas, and there's still a couple of sugarish peach in there which aren't quite dry. I'll also defrost the stuff I have in the freezer so I can hopefully get 1 more jar of chili flakes this year. But next year, I think we will aim for 6 jars of chili flakes. I think that's a good aim. Okay, we're back to present day and we are starting my 1 hour of trying to do as much as possible on the plot. Let's go. There is a ridiculous amount of nasturtium in there. Don't even know where it's all coming from. This was the shooting star, and I don't think I'll be growing it again. It was, I mean, I'll definitely grow a yellow courgette next year again, but I won't be growing shooting star because it was so weird. The actual fruits weren't that nice either, like they were fine, but nothing will quite beat my favourite, which is the Romanesco courgette. So yeah, shooting star is a no for me. I feel a little bit bad ripping up all these nasturtium, but there is a giant patch over there, so I shouldn't feel too bad. Plus, I really need to eradicate these really long orange ones, because they have just taken over this year. I do not want that to happen again next year. And I can see there's like millions of seeds in the bed already. So it's a little bit annoying. Right. Okay, this is better. I was hoping to get some seeds from this sunflower, but ooh, hang on. We might have some. This sunflower was, I think it was 8 or 9 foot. This is a really tiny seed head. All the seed heads at the top, I think they got eaten. I've realised I haven't fed the birds. I will do that and then we'll carry on with clearing, but I need to get some more feeders and take this one home to clean. I will do that next week. And I'm running out of seed, so need more seed as well. I'm just going to quickly explain what I'm planning for the new layout. So these 3 beds here are going to become 4. I'm going to make them narrower and slightly longer. I just feel like I've kind of lost control over these beds. They are quite big and I can't get into them very easily, so I think having 4 slightly narrower ones across here will be much easier to deal with next year. I also would like a path to be, well, this path isn't too narrow, I can't really get through, so this path down here is all going to be one width, so I can actually get a wheelbarrow down there. The middle bed is going to be shifted over slightly so it's more central, and it's going to be slightly longer and narrower. It's going to be 240 by 120, and this is where I'm going to put my garlic. So I need to, this is probably the priority, and then since that bed is empty I will be able to make that bed the shape I want it, and then hopefully this bed will be next, and then when the sunflower dies I will get all 4 beds sorted. I'd like to dig the verbena out and put it in that bed. Not that you can see anything, but I think the verbena would be nice in this bed, because since I'll have 4 beds across here, the archway will be in the middle, and then this bed will be seen through the archway, and I'd like to put, I think, borage and verbena, so I do need to get this verbena out and in the ground over there. This is my beautiful patch of nasturtium. We'll just move along. I've got a random borage patch popping up here, but it looks so healthy. I can't remove it, but I know it's just going to seed everywhere. I'm going to dig this dahlia out as well, which is in amongst the nasturtium. You know what? I think I will just go ahead and remove this nasturtium right now, because yeah, I need to be able to get around. Yeah, okay, let's remove this nasturtium. This borage plant actually popped up in the bed that I wanted borage to grow anyway, so that's cool. These are the pumpkins, which I don't think I'm gonna get a big pumpkin this year, I'm afraid, but better luck next year. Right, where do I start with this? Okay, let's go somehow. Oh, look at all these mushrooms, by the way. So many little mushrooms in there. I don't know what that means, but my granddad used to tell me it was because the soil was acidic, but I don't know. okay. I'm happier with how things are looking now. I can kind of see what I'm doing and where I'm going with things. I think I'd put 3 verbena plants in here, and I think I'll move them next week. Hello? I really, really like these plants, so I hope moving them won't kill them. I mean, I can sow some more next year, but just hit me on the head. Yeah, this dahlia is definitely in the wrong place because I feel like I didn't see it last year and I didn't see it again this year. It just kind of lurks underneath everything. So I am going to move it for sure. Okay, I have 5 minutes left before I need to go home. So we're going to do a little bit of deadheading of the dahlia at the front and I think remove the mini pumpkins because they have definitely gone over now. And I should probably show you my compost situation. I still have not found pallets to make a 3-bay system because that is what I want to do because that nasturtium material has created a huge mountain. This is it. The nasturtium mountain is over on the second plot. So I can't have this just out in the open. I need somehow to contain it. Daleks, they just won't do. I'll never fit everything in a Dalek, and also the door's blown off, the lid's blown off, and the nasturtium are growing out of the bin. But maybe I can cram some in there. I also need to move the Dalek on the OG plot, this guy here, because the beds that I'm putting here and here come out further, so I don't want this here. Plus, I want all my compost stuff in one zone. So hopefully there will be some good stuff in the bottom of that Dalek, and then I can use the Dalek then to contain my nasturtium pile. But oh my gosh, I don't know. And I have to sort through those desperately. And oh, I don't want to do it. We have so much to do over autumn. I mean, I have so much to do over autumn. You can just sit at home and watch me struggle. Oh gosh. I did have a couple of comments, people wondering if I regret taking on the second plot. I don't regret it at all. I kind of wish it hadn't have come up in May when I should have been focusing my energy on plot 1. I then spent time over on this plot when I should have just been focusing on plot 1, because at the moment both of them are kind of like, well, unfinished to say the least. Unfinished, and yeah, the jobs are piling up. I've just got so much to do on both plots. I would have rather perfected plot 1 and then this plot come available like now, October, November, December. So then I could have had winter to work over here, but things didn't work out that way. And also I decided that I want to change the layout of plot 1, so I'm just making more work for myself. Anyway, I think a solid few months of winter work over on plot 1, we will get everything sorted and everything ready for next year, 2026. Okay, I'm very glad I took those nasturtiums out. By the way, I've talked for about 5 minutes now, so I don't have time to deadhead the dahlia. Well, I will do it, but I need to get home. Yeah, I'm glad the nasturtiums are gone from here. Hopefully there'll be a little less, fewer seeds to for them to drop, but I know there's already tons of seeds. I need to chop this sunflower down desperately. There's not a seed left in there, but it's so thick. It's like a tree. I'm gonna have to fell a sunflower. Okay, let's very, very quickly sort this dahlia out. Sorry. Yeah, this one got snapped quite a bit in the wind, but oh, they're just so pretty. I have so many plans for next year. I think next year is going to be good, I hope. Oh no, the rat's back. I just saw it. Zoom. Oh, but look, they're just so pretty. Okay, I think that's sorted. So next week I'll have more time at the plot, weather dependent. Hopefully there's not like another storm or something. And we will do more clearing and rearranging on this plot. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, give me some encouragement because I've got my work cut out for this autumn and winter. I need the encouragement. Yeah, I will see you again next week at 4 p.m. on Friday. Bye guys.